it's true that we're in the information age and the answer to any question is literally at the tip of your fingers. But this has also made people lazy when getting information and ensuring that the information that they have is accurate. So more information has not made people smarter. I feel like it's made people dumber. Now, I will say I am not immune to this, and I am not immune to just looking something up quickly on Wikipedia and taking that as the answer to whatever question I have. I've even fallen for those people who speak with authority and sound like they know what they're talking about without actually looking up specific facts as to what they're talking about and clarifying and verifying what they're saying. But I have learned how to combat this, which I'll talk about at the end of the video. And I will talk about what my main problem is. My main problem is with those people who are loud and wrong. So people who do speak with authority and give out information to thousands of other people and they are wrong. So that's whether it's intentional or unintentional, they're just inaccurate. And people believe what they say without doing further research. So I do have a very good example of this. So I've watched a few videos about health insurance, and on a couple of these videos, people will comment that Medicare is free, like just very confidently saying that Medicare is free. I also watched a video about Medicare from a channel which I would describe as investigative journalism, where they say that Medicare Part A is completely free.
Medicare Part A is completely free. It's what you paid for in taxes for working all those years.
Medicare Part A is not free. Okay, it's not free. And I'm pretty sure anyone who is on Medicare right now or who are aging into Medicare can vouch for that. It is not free. So if you don't know what Medicare is, I'll give you a quick overview of what Medicare is. So do not confuse Medicare with Medicaid. Medicaid is administered by the state and it's income-based. So this is insurance for people who are low income, who may have children who are on Medicaid, or even the elderly who are low income, they may have Medicaid as well. So Medicaid is administered by the state. Medicare is administered by the federal government. And to qualify for Medicare, you have to be 65 and older or have a qualifying disability. And the 65 and older part does not automatically qualify you, but that is a main requirement for Medicare and to qualify for Medicare. And Medicare, you can go, it can get confusing, but I'm going to tell you the basics, which are pretty simple. So in general, there are 4 parts to Medicare. So Part A is for inpatient hospital care or inpatient care. So say if you're inpatient at a hospital or a skilled nursing facility. So Part B is for those outpatient services. So for you to see your primary care doctor, for you to see a specialist or other outpatient services, that falls under Part B. Part C are Medicare Advantage plans, and they take over for Part A and Part B. So they offer the same benefits as Part A and B, except the coinsurance and copays may be different. And they also offer other benefits like vision, hearing, dental, things like that. Private insurance companies administer the Part C Medicare Advantage plans, and they have a contract with the government. And then Part D are standalone drug plans, so prescription drug plans. So the Medicare Advantage plans also include the prescription drug plans as well, usually. Okay, so you have Part A, inpatient hospital care, Part B, to see doctors and specialists, Part C, which takes over for Part A and Part B and includes additional benefits, and then Part D is for your medications, your drug plans. And the Part D plans are also provided or administered by private insurance companies as well. So Part A and Part B, that's called original Medicare. So if you're not on a Medicare Advantage plan, which is Part C, you are on original Medicare. So you just have Part A and Part B, and then you also have to sign up for a prescription drug plan as well. Okay, so now where he said that Part A is completely free. It's not completely free. Most people do not have to pay a premium for Part A. That's true. Some do, but most don't. However, there is a deductible. So if you are admitted to the hospital, you do have to pay a deductible for Part A. And then Part B, there's also a deductible, which is smaller than the Part A deductible, but you have to pay for 2025. Most people have to pay $185 a month premium for Part B coverage. And then this guy said that Part B is optional.
Medicare Part B is an optional add-on.
Yeah, Part B is optional, like paying your taxes is optional. So if you turn 65, if you are at that qualifying age to sign up for Part B and you do not have other health insurance and you don't sign up, you will have a late enrollment penalty. And I've seen it to where someone had a late enrollment penalty into the hundreds of dollars. So yeah, it's optional if you want a late enrollment penalty. Like, yeah, no one's gonna force you to sign up for it, but if you don't, you will pay in the end. So I would say that's not optional. And then the other thing with Part B, besides the deductible, besides having to pay a premium every month, you're also responsible for 20% of the benefit. Like if you go see a doctor, if you have some type of outpatient service done, you're responsible for 20% and Medicare pays 80%. And this isn't for every benefit under Part B, but so like preventative services, like a lot of preventative services, you don't have to pay, but there are definitely some services you do have to pay 20% for. So let's say if you get outpatient surgery, you're paying 20% of that. Of course, you can literally go so much more in depth with Medicare. It can get confusing with a lot of things because there's not just the 4 parts, those are the main 4 parts. There's also supplemental plans. Yeah, you can really go into depth about Medicare. But that just goes to show you that Medicare is not free. And this information, how did I get this information? Yes, I am a Medicare Advantage insurance agent, but this information is so easy to find. All you have to do is go to medicare.gov. All of this information is on that website. So it is a government website that you can easily just type in medicare.gov and look up this information. It's so easy to find. So my question is, how was a popular investigative journalism type channel not able to provide this information? I don't think it was intentional, but it just goes to show you that you cannot trust what someone's telling you just because they seem to be the authority on a topic, or just because they have some type of like clout. You have to do your own research. And I do think knowing about Medicare is important because, I mean, it may not be there for when I turn 65, but if it is, you do want to know about it and you do want to understand how it works. Now, I'm not saying you have to fact check every little information that you get, but I do kind of have a process of when I do get information that I feel like is important and that needs to be fact checked. So what I have taught myself to do, and I don't do it all the time, because I'll give you an example when I didn't do it. It was pretty recent. It's kind of funny. But what I normally do is, like, if I'm watching a YouTube video, I just kind of have in my mind and I kind of tell myself, I don't know if this is true. I don't know if this information that this video is giving me is true or accurate. I don't know that. So I try to watch it more so from an entertainment standpoint, unless I'm going to do the work to go actually look it up. And if I do go and look it up, I'll go look it up and try to find websites that are reputable news sources. So like NPR, BBC, instead of falling on to Wikipedia, I'll go to Britannica. I'll go to government websites. So for example, like say if you're going to travel and you look up videos for certain things that you need to travel to, like a different country, or how to travel on an airplane. Maybe it's your first time traveling on an airplane and you're looking up YouTube videos about it. I would use that as supplementary information. I would go to the TSA site to get that information. I would not rely on someone on YouTube giving me that information. Like, go to a government site go to a reputable site to get your information and to look up information. And then that's also not to say that these reputable sites are 100% accurate either. So I can go seriously down a freaking rabbit hole with this, but that's kind of what I do. I just question the information that I'm getting. If it's important enough, I'll go look it up. And then when I go look it up, I make sure that I'm looking it up on a reputable site. And I did just watch this video to where YouTuber, he kind of went more in depth about how we're being manipulated and given false information or misinformation, whether it be intentionally or unintentionally, and really does a deep dive into that. And I feel like that this like in the time we're in right now, it's even worse because we have so much information. We have so many people vying for our attention. It's so difficult to know like what's the truth and what's not true. And I also want to say that that right now this isn't something that's just happening right now. This has happened in the past. Like people or companies have put out incorrect information on purpose to sell products. Like this isn't something new. I just feel like it's worse right now because we have so much information and it's made people lazy into doing research into information. And one way that I actually kind of fell for something that someone said like randomly and then I realized it like maybe a couple minutes later of my mistake. So I was watching this video about how dangerous chimpanzees were. And someone in the comments, they were like, yeah, people in Africa, they are more scared of chimpanzees than lions because chimpanzees will come into your house and steal babies out of your bed or steal the babies out of the bed. And I'm like, oh my God, chimpanzees steal babies out of beds? But then I always read the comments underneath, comments always. Or when I'm watching a video, I always go straight to the comments just to see like the alternate view that people always have like an alternate view on what someone says in the video. So that kind of makes you question things too. But anyways, I read a comment and they were like, somebody was like, why would chimpanzees be stealing babies out of beds? And I'm like, Brittany, no, you didn't just fall for that. But no, it was just funny because I feel like when you're reading comments and you're taking in information, it's kind of difficult to kind of stop and think, is this true? Like as you're taking the information in, like in the moment. So you're taking the information in the moment and your mind is now always like, wait, is this even true? This sounds ridiculous. Of course, a lot of times it is, but sometimes it's not. So you really have to stop and think and question, like, what am I reading? But moral of the story, just stop being lazy, be curious, dig deeper, really look into the information that you're being told. Like don't fall for like flashy headlines or rage bait or hyperbole, fear mongering. Don't fall for these things. Like really don't be drawn in by your emotions. Stop and think and question if what you're being told is accurate, and then do the research by using reputable sources. And that is all. Now you tell me, did you think that Medicare was free? Be honest. Also, how do you question information that you're giving, or do you take the time out to question information that you're giving? Let me know. Thanks.